Hey everybody, it's Buzz continuing our playthrough of the Path of Champions. Today, we're taking on the half-star quest, the Swift Scout. We'll be doing so with our one-star Aatrox. So, to get you familiar with Aatrox, he's one of the new champions here, released with the World Ender. And his star power, we have up at star power level 1. When an equipped ally strikes, reduce the cost of a random card in hand by 1. And so, you can tell right from the start, we're going to be looking to cheat out our expensive bros, namely Aatrox, through a series of strike and equipped units. That, of course, all ties in with the Aatrox ability to where if you play the 3 darkened cards, you get to draw your Aatrox, and then your equipped darkened cards making strikes are what reduces the cost of his level up ability in the World Ender. Our champion level just down to level 1, getting a fresh start here, you and I together. The starting deck has a bunch of cheap stuff in it. The Forsaken Bakai and the Steadfast Elkin. Great early plays to then load up with either the Darkened Staff or the Darkened Aegis. The Keeper of the Box is here to keep our life total in check. Having lifesteal units always does a great job of recovering out some early game damage. Then terrible removal in the violent discord, a elusive unit in the blooming cultist, and a strike card in the furious wielder. To get ourselves ready and started with this, I'm going to try out the armadillo shell. Typically, when it comes to these expensive champions like this, I like to have an immediate impact, and so we typically play like the lost chapters to get the 3 spell mana back. As we move up to the rare relics, we're going to look for some of the strikes when they come into play. But as we're down here at level 1, our Aatrox not very strong. We're going with the shell, hopefully so that we can chain off some more strikes in the early game. And so if we're going to look at Aatrox's flip, potentially get 3 strikes off of 1 card. If we want him to survive those, he needs a little bit of health to get that survivability going. And so I do suspect this is a relic we'll trade away in the near future, but right now at the start, that's the idea and the game plan behind the relic. And so that's what we're doing battle with today. Let's go ahead, jump on into battle with this half-a-star Teemo. Where did it go? We can't even find the battle anymore. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Keep that salt in check, bro. It's just a game. You just got to click the things, right? All right. Let's jump on in. Pick us up as a nice power. Created cards cost 1 less is kind of interesting. If we're going to look at Aatrox's Deathbringer strikes, making that cost a total of 3 mana instead of 6 is kind of a good deal. Otherwise, fast deal is a good start just in terms of drawing cards is always good. But let's kick off with this Wild Inspiration, see if we can't build around that a little bit, and head on to battle against the Boom Baboon. Okay. Strikes everywhere. What do we got? I'm good to hang onto the equipment, but we need to find a 1-drop to go along with it. I could even see an argument to mulligan away the Darkened Staff to just try and pick up the dude and then assume we'll pick up an Aegis or a staff later, but this was okay. This all worked out. Here, we don't have any Darkened cards. I was hoping to get a boost on our Bakai, but we completely missed. Not a big deal. We'll just skip over these draws, get into battle, and move forward. Can't always be having the 3-2 Bakai. Alright, well, you can drop the Aegis in. I was hoping this turn to get both the Elkin and the Darkened Staff on board. A little bit too slow, but we'll recover. We'll get there. All the Elkin. Making everything in hand cheap. I'm on board. I'm on board. We'll get 2 strikes in this turn, so we'll get the two shrinks on our ability. The Darkened Staff giving us some extra mana as well. All right, all right. I'm getting on board with the ways of Aatrox here. We're getting the mana off of the staff, the 2 mana off of the strikes. Ain't nothing better than getting to cheat on your mana, and so I like what's coming together with this. Alright, here's an Aatrox. Grow up, our little friend. Get the big champion down next turn. Looking good. Turns out, not a great attack into all of our tough units, but, you know, the opponent can't always be making the best plays. What do we got? We'll leave Aatrox at home. You know, we'll just we'll swing in with that 14 into 7 and call it a day. Whew. Seeing him shrink up in mana feels good. I was a bit worried that Aatrox is going to be one of these champions to where you play someone like Lux and you don't add a bunch of copies into your deck just because she's so expensive. But getting these cheap strikes in is quite good. Now we get a fresh Darken equipment and the Darken Bloodletters. Absolutely happy to pick that up. I'm pretty sure we'll just play any number of Darken equipment that we can find along the way. And so pretty reasonable there. Looking out of these, you're somewhat interested in Pike because Bone Skewer is a way to give strikes, but both the Hammersmith and the Pike are so bad on their own that we'll just leave them behind. Renekton is a reasonable addition here. He's got a 1-drop in the pool. And then we also get to have some synergies between the Ruthless Predator and kind of picking and choosing how we want our strikes to go. So good stuff there. On to the next one. We can either hit up an item chest or a spells chest. Let's head towards the items, do battle with the back alley Barkeep. And so when a unit is summoned, you shuffle its stats. Then you put an equipment on it. It's pretty easy, right? That's the way the game goes. You shuffle the stats, you put an equipment on it. Easy peasy. All right, so we'll hang on to our fresh 1-drop, the Bloodthirsty Marauder. See if we can't find an equipment to go along with it. Not so far. Not yet. Got a Bakai to do some searching. We got 6 in the deck, so it shouldn't be impossible to find. There we go. Now we're ready for action. I do the old stat shuffle right into a 2-2. Let's get to battle, friend. Card's going to reduce by 1. What do we got? What do we hit? The Keeper of the Box? All right. And an Aegius. Beautiful. This one's done. We're over. We're winning. But this is the nice thing with the Keeper of the Box, right? We're taking a little bit of incidental damage from these elusives. I don't ever suspect we're going to lose to the to any of the battles in the Teemo run, but it is nice in the sense that on our future battles on the things when things are a little bit more challenging, having some of this incidental life gain is pretty strong. All right, I'm gonna get that Aatrox on board now. Could be -2 cost. Oh, we hit the Ruthless Predator with all of them. Weak. Weak. Oh, we got 1 in there. Okay. There he is. Now you get to see Aatrox. He's got tough. He's got his bonus health. He's ready for it out here. Are we going to have enough to do the flip card? Just so everybody can see it, make sure? Not yet. All right. Maybe before the run is over, we'll get to pull off the Aatrox flip with the World Ender. Raveled Earth, not going to do anything. We should be good to get lethal here. We should be hitting for 10 or so. 14 into 8, even better. GG.
After all these years, I can finally...
All right, so what do we got? Another one? I wonder if Aatrox has something built in to where you always see a Darken card in the rewards. We've only seen 2 rewards at this point. They both had Darken, and so it may be a little bit too early to make accusations like that. But I'm curious if that's how it would go. Here, getting the mana cheapening on Darken Aegius seems completely fine, and then into battle with the Mechanized Mimic. And so at the game start, the foe creates the Augmented Poro in hand. Now, circling back to that mana potion, I'm pretty certain that it also applies to the Darken half of the equipment. And so it'll make the Aegius either cost 1 or it'll make Geralt cost 5. I know that he says 5 here, but I think that that's just a visual thing. I'm pretty sure we can play him for 4 mana. But with these, let's hang on to the Bakai. We've got a couple of equipment. See if we can't predict our way into some more dudes. Get these attacks ready. Unfortunately, predicting into dudes means you're not getting the bonus onto the Bakai, but it's not that big of a deal. We're about to get all these big stats on board.
You know what my future is? Glorious.
I'm curious, like, I really wanted to play the Darkened Staff to start getting the mana cheats happening, but I don't want to trade our unit in combat here, so we'll take the safer route, go with the Tufts, get a strike in anyways. Ooh, free Ballista, huh? Look at that. Who thought these 1-drops could ever be so strong? Pretty sweet. Now we need more drops. We need more dudes. That you cost 7? It's a lot. That's a big ask, my friend. See, you can see this one's reduced in cost. He only costs 7 mana now. We unfortunately played the Aegis, so you can't quite see it here. Are we just lethal here, though? We got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A little bit short. Did we pick up too many equipments and not enough units? That's going to be part of the balance of playing Aatrox, is finding the balance between the two. And watching people play Constructed, you do see a lot of about 9 in a Constructed deck, which is about 25% of the deck. And so I think that's, probably something similar that we would shoot towards here. We can't quite, decide how we do that, as the deck is somewhat randomized, but, it's there. All right, but let's see what happens. We have all the mana now. We can add in the 1-drop. Aw, lame, dude. I wanted to get the Darkened Staff on him for free and drop the World Ender, but some people don't like to have fun. That's the augmented Poro guy. All right, here comes the Thunder, though. Give us all these sweet Darkens. Here it comes. GG Mechanized Mimic. Cool.
After all these years, I can finally.
All right, let's see what these rewards are. Okay, so it's not every time, right? We could pick up a Buried Sun Disc here now that we have Renekton, but we'll let that one stay away. We'll go with the Boomerang Blade. We're lacking a little bit in interactivity, and having a strike card plays into the themes of what we're doing. Take the treasure into the shop. Just gonna look for some cheap dudes in here. Well, putting a Phage on Dark and Aegis seems pretty strong. Otherwise, Fereth is the only option. That's kind of crappy. We'll come in and reroll. Fixer-upper, sure. Something cool, some cheap dudes. Oh, there's a 2-drop. We're looking for people that cost 1. I guess the Ruthless Raider can be okay. That's going to be our fresh unit as we head into the final battles. Get that big overwhelm action going. I dig it. Violent Discord can go. As we come up to battle with Teemo, we'll cut out the removal spell that would let us kill Teemo. We're going full unit today. What do we got? Keeper of the Box, okay. Make sure we can do a little bit of something in the early game here. That's much better. The Elkin and the equipment. We can show you the equipment here now. I'll do this better. Right? Oh, you can't see Giral. It's when you try to... we'll do it next turn. Fine, game. Oh shit, we just skipped our attack. That's alright, we'll still win. We'll circle back and be okay. But I was going to say a couple of things. We could have just played nothing on the first turn, so that we could drop Keeper of the Box on turn 2, and then also be able to equip it, so we get the lifesteal going. And then here, I thought I was right on this, and that Giral should only cost 4. we'll have to circle back to that. We got 3 copies of it in hand, so we'll be able to we'll be able to figure out before the game is done how cheap that's going to be. All right, here we go, though. We'll start to turn things around here. Gonna put the Darkened Staff on our Elkin. We're gonna put... Oh, no, we did it You're being kind of lame, opponent. Kind of lame. Turning this one into a slop fest. All right, Ruthless Raider on board. Got a free Aegis we can play. That's so weird that it says it costs 4 with that ability, but not with Mana Potion. All right, but let's see if I'm right on this turn. We're going to have 4 mana. We're going to be ready. We're going to try and drop the Darkened Aegis. Oh, a Mana Potion doesn't hit it. Interesting. I guess I was wrong on that. We're all out here learning stuff, and so interesting. Not how I thought that worked.
Let us take a peek at life beneath the waves.
All right, though, we got our Aatrox. We got blocks on everything here. This could arguably be the worst attack of 2022. Now let's see what we can shrink up. Anything relevant? Are we going to play any Dark in this game? Doesn't look like it. That's okay. We'll just come at you. Oh, saw a card flash at you. We'll come at you with the 18 piece here. Oh, stress defense. Okay, we got a Ruthless Predator. I was like, oh no. We're going to have to play 2 more turns of game, but... Poro Stories. Is that just naturally part of the deck now? Oh, I played Conchologist to generate that. Okay. But nonetheless, good set of battles, a nice intro into the lands of Aatrox, and a good start on what we're going to be seeing in these future games. And so that was a kind of an eye-opener, right? I know from Constructed that the really cheap units along with the Darkened equipment is quite good. I think we'll really end up focusing on that with a lot of our decks, but I think with Aatrox, we're probably going to struggle with a bit of the RNG elements, right? And determining if we can get enough equipment in our decks to pop off with the Aatrox abilities, finding the cheap plays to go along with that while, managing your curve and finding removal and all that. And so I think we're going to be in for a treat in terms of the challenge level with this Aatrox. But nonetheless, that is going to do the battles for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Busted. We thank you for being here.